teams in terms of how they were thinking about what our next set of solutions should be or can be. And really, there are a lot more than just four, but these are really the four key things that just really pop out. First is mobile devices. I mean, how many of us here have two devices with them today? Right, well, pretty much everyone. How many have three? Right, how many have four? Great, we have one. How many have five? That would be awesome. I've never found anyone who has five. But the reason I say that is devices are really have really practically exploded, and in various form factors, right? I mean, we have some things from smartphones that are getting smarter and smarter every day, to slates, tablets, to laptops and desktops, and the whole gamut there. And really, that's becoming a core part of what we all have as part of our computing power, as part of how we get information and how we actually work on things, both from a consumer perspective as well as at work. And that really is key. I mean, the explosion of devices really started to become a core component of how we think of people being productive. And all the subsequent content that you're going to see and the demos you're going to see will show you how we've kind of taken that to heart and actually optimized all of our applications and solutions for mobile devices and consumption. The second one is really social, and I think Kevin touched a little bit on this earlier on. Social really means a lot of different things to different people, and we'll get into the crux of that in the next few minutes. But the core, I think the core trend here is that our employee base of any company within the U.S. as well as outside the U.S., and probably more so outside the U.S., is really getting more and more diverse. And we have three generations of people that are simultaneously working in the office today, and that actually did not happen until a few years ago. What that does is it changes how people use information, interact with other people, and how actually they get the information that they need, get in touch with people, and then actually get work done. And so whatever solutions and capabilities that we create have to be able to cater to all of the very different ways of how people want to use those capabilities. And that really is informing how we've come up with this set of solutions that actually can fit all the needs that you see there. Cloud, again, this is not really something new. Just really quickly, how many here are using a cloud service of any kind in their enterprises today? Right, half of you. How many are using it in their personal life? Every one of you, right? I mean, everyone has Outlook.com, Hotmail, Gmail, some account to that for the personal, but that is a cloud service, and this is really key. We as a company made a strategic bet to really go big on cloud, and not just within the productivity space, which we have. I mean, we are with Office 365. That's really a massive investment that we made over the last few years. But this goes across every single business in Microsoft, and every single software application that you've ever thought of will and does actually now have a cloud component or equivalent today. And this is going to be really key to us as a company, and in terms of our ability to deliver what you all need today and in the future. The last piece is big data. I mean, and you think of BI, business intelligence, and getting insights out of data. The amount of data is literally exponentially increasing. We have, I think the statistic says that we have 2.7 zettabytes, which is I think 10 raised to 21 bytes, which is a staggering number in itself. And that data creation is exploding, and it's growing every year. The core thing, I mean, we talk about data or information overload. The question really is not that we have an overload of information. What we actually lack in general is an ability to have the right set of filters that allow us to kind of capture that information, build insights, analyze it, and then actually make business decisions based on that. And really, that is a key thing that we've kind of seen rise exponentially, and it will just get bigger in the future. And so you'll see a lot of capabilities that we've built in that actually helps Companies and individuals at an end user level also access information in a way that's more intuitive and helps them make business decisions without having to do SQL queries, right? Not everyone likes to do SQL queries, although I used to do that in my prior life. So with that said, these are really market trends. This is not a Microsoft point of view. This is just what's out there in the market. This is reality, right? And how do these 4 trends really inform the Microsoft point of view? And that's really kind of best exemplified in kind of in 2 ways. One is when we think of building productivity solutions and delivering capabilities to customers like yourself, we are really pivoting on 2 things. One is giving the best possible experience for an end user across whatever device you have. And we'll talk a lot more on that in the next few minutes, but this is really key. We have a really big focus on making sure all of our applications, all of our solutions will work across different form factors. Whatever you have, you bring your own device, consumerization of IT, whatever the term is. But that is really key. We will deliver all of those capabilities to whichever device and whichever form factor is most relevant. The second piece is really on the cloud aspect, which is, yes, we've made a lot of evolutionary improvements to all of our applications, Excel, PowerPoint, Word, which happens with every release. That's not surprising. And there's a ton of exciting evolutionary, I think, things that we've done. But the uniqueness, I would say, of our solution is really the ability to bring in cloud services in a way that makes sense, in a cadence that makes sense to each and every customer. And that is unique. Not every customer is going to be able to flip a switch and say, yeah, this Saturday I'm going to go to the cloud for this workload, right? And it's not possible. And the core point of view that Microsoft has always had is really, we're going to have the options available, and based on the business needs, based on the business drivers and the technological needs, will allow customers to really merge cloud services and on-premise software in a way that makes sense to them and allows them to move some workloads, some people to the cloud as it makes sense. And that's really key. And this goes across all of the workloads that we have within the productivity space. And you can think of kind of messaging that includes not only email messaging, instant messaging, and so on. Voice and video, we've made tremendous progress there, especially with Lync. I think a lot of you probably, or I hope, already use Lync in some shape or form for at least instant messaging and presence. We've made massive leaps there. Content management, social, and BI. I mean, these are all workloads that really kind of use these top 2, I guess, core tenets to heart. And this is what you'll see very shortly when we start doing the demos as well. With that, let's kind of then drill down into kind of what does that mean from a productivity point of view. We talked about kind of the themes that early on, and this is really the way we've kind of taken that and incorporated that into our vision is really in these 4 ways, which is, we talked about devices, and I think you saw a lot of really great Windows 8 capabilities today. One thing that you'll also, that you did not probably hear, which I will talk about right now, is not everyone has Windows 8 machines today. And not everyone, and not every consumer who's going to bring their own devices into your workplace, assuming you allowed them, is going to have a Windows machine. And that is just reality. And what we have done from an Office and Office 365 point of view is that we will always be best and first on Windows, always. That's our flagship product. We have more control over that integration. We'll always be first to market with Office applications on Windows. But that does not mean that we will not be on other non-Windows platforms. What that means is now if you have iOS or Android, we will have applications that actually will run on those devices. When we've already had OneNote and Lync applications available on iOS. And if anyone has those devices, you can actually go to the app stores and actually start downloading them and using them. And not all apps are there today, and we're making additions on an ongoing basis, but that's really a strategic change, I think, for Microsoft. And because the core thing that is that made us kind of change our direction is really, we just looked at, okay, this is reality in the market. We want to do what's best for the consumer and the customer. And if they have non-Windows devices, we'll do our best to make sure that their experience at the end of the day, across whichever device they use, is as productive and as efficient and as effective as it can be. So that's really one. From a social point of view, we've made a lot of improvements. We also recently announced our acquisition of Yammer, which some of you might have heard of. SharePoint has a ton of social capabilities, and now we are actually really excited about the fact that we can actually now bring that together with Yammer, and that kind of solution set is going to be just absolutely fantastic. And you'll see a lot more details on that roadmap as in the coming months as we kind of build a more formalized kind of roadmap for public consumption. But there's a huge number of engineers and product technical marketing teams that are working on that today. The cloud, again, is something that I think we went in a big fashion probably 4 years ago. I was part of the original team that launched what was then called BPOS. How many of you know about BPOS? Right, okay, a few. I mean, I look at then and now, and we've made such a massive improvement in terms of what we've been able to deliver to customers. And now, you think of kind of parity across on-premises and online, and this is really where we actually now are, in some respects,